The village of Eldermoor was a quiet, superstitious hamlet tucked between dense forests and misty hills. Its people held traditions close and spoke in hushed whispers about the unknown. Among them was a young woman named Elara, whose beauty and charm were as much a blessing as a curse. Her story would become one of forbidden passions, haunting desires, and chilling retribution, shrouded in the whispers of the night. Elara's allure was undeniable. With cascading auburn hair and eyes like molten gold, she seemed almost otherworldly. Men of all ages fell under her spell, drawn to her laughter that echoed like a siren's call. She moved through the village like a queen among her subjects, her every step a promise of unspoken pleasures. Elara's nights were filled with stolen moments, a touch in the shadows, a kiss beneath the moonlight, and whispers of passion that sent shivers down her lover's spines. She was intoxicating, and each man who shared her bed swore she belonged to him alone. But Elara was untamed, her desires unbound by the constraints of loyalty or convention. Yet, there was something about Eldermoor that seemed to darken in her presence. Livestock fell ill, crops withered, and strange whispers began to rise among the villagers. Many blamed Elara, calling her a temptress who had invited something unholy into their midst. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a stranger arrived in Eldermoor. Alaric was unlike any man Elara had encountered. Tall and broad-shouldered, with emerald eyes that seemed to see into her soul, he exuded a quiet strength that intrigued her. Their first meeting was electric. Elara had been bathing in the forest stream, her bare skin glistening in the dappled light. Alaric stumbled upon her by chance, his breath catching as he took in her beauty. Instead of covering herself, Elara met his gaze boldly, a slow smile curling her lips. "Are you lost, traveler?" she asked, her voice honeyed and teasing. "Perhaps," he replied, his voice deep and steady. "Or, perhaps I've found exactly what I was looking for." From that moment, the two were drawn to each other like moths to a flame. But Alaric's presence seemed to stir something in the shadows of Eldermoor, a presence that had long been watching, waiting. Their affair began with a stolen kiss in the moonlight, but it quickly became something far more intense. Alaric awakened a part of Elara she hadn't known existed. He was tender yet demanding, his touch igniting fires within her that left her breathless. Their nights together were a symphony of passion, the forest bearing witness to their trysts. Yet, in the darkened corners of their union, strange occurrences began to unfold. The forest would grow unnaturally silent, and shadows seemed to lengthen and writhe. Elara dismissed them as tricks of the mind, but Alaric remained wary. In the quiet moments after their lovemaking, they spoke of dreams and fears. It was during one such night that Alaric pressed Elara about her past. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Regret what?" she whispered, her voice tinged with unease. "The price you paid," he said softly. "For this beauty, this life." Elara's heart stopped. She had never spoken of the pact, not to anyone. "How do you know about that?" she demanded, her voice trembling. One evening, as they lay tangled in each other's arms, Alaric surprised Elara by producing a simple silver ring. "Marry me," he said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Elara stared at him, her heart pounding. She had never considered marriage, never believed herself capable of the kind of love it required. But as she looked into Alaric's eyes, she realized she already belonged to him in ways she couldn't deny. "Yes," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, I'll marry you." The village was abuzz with the news, though not all celebrated. Dark whispers spoke of curses and retribution. The night before the wedding, Elara's dreams were plagued with visions of shadowy figures and cold, grasping hands. The wedding was a grand affair, but as the sun set, an eerie stillness enveloped the village. As Alaric led Elara to their cottage, the air was thick with tension. Inside, as Alaric began to undress her, His eyes fell upon the strange mark on her back. A dark, curling symbol that seemed almost alive. "Elara," he said, his voice tight. "What is this?" Before she could answer, the room plunged into darkness. The air grew icy, and the candles flickered violently before dying out. A low, guttural growl filled the air, and a figure emerged from the shadows, its form twisting and writhing. "You thought you could escape me," it hissed, its voice dripping with malice. The figure revealed itself to be the one Elara had made her pact with years ago. Her beauty, her charm, her every desire had come at a cost she could no longer evade. Alaric stepped forward, his body tense. "Take me instead," he said. "Spare her." The figure laughed, a sound that sent chills down their spines. "Love," it sneered. "Do you think your mortal love can save her?" Elara fell to her knees, sobbing. "Please," she begged. "I'll do anything." The figure paused, as if considering her plea. "Very well," it said. "But know this. The price will be your love's eternal torment." As the figure moved to claim Alaric, he took Elara's hand and whispered, "Trust me." Together, they confronted the entity, their love forming a barrier of light against its darkness. The battle was fierce, and as dawn broke, the figure let out a final, piercing scream before vanishing into the void. Elara's beauty faded, her pact undone. But Alaric held her close, his love for her unwavering. They left Eldermoor, starting anew in a place where shadows couldn't follow. Their story became legend, a chilling reminder of the price of desire and the redemptive power of love.